It's Tomb World pre-order day. Did you get one? Probably not, because there's sick shit for 40k in here that everyone's gonna want. So yeah, the battle report has been filmed. It's been edited. It is ready to go. We can't wait to share it with you. Unfortunately, there was some changing embargo dates that we got, and there's some stuff that we're not allowed to show you yet. But September 6th morning, we will be releasing that battle report, so stay tuned. Can't wait for you to watch it. We wish you could watch it now, but it's the way she goes. Thank you so much to everyone who's subscribed, who's been looking for it. You won't be disappointed.
Now back to this video. Okay, when this video goes out, there'll also be videos on the Deathwatch kill team and the new Necron kill team. So if you want to see that stuff, go watch those. But here we're going to talk about the new terrain, new kill zone, and what else is in the box. So let's start. Let's not bury the lead. Let's talk about the Tomb World itself.
Okay.
So, first, let's not even touch on the rules. Let's touch about the physical item that you're going to build and paint. If you've built Into the Dark, you know that there was some suspect activity with building Into the Dark. The pieces didn't really fit together very well. It's a pain to set up sometimes, and it looked really good, but there were some things that were awkward about it. They have made a lot of improvements. Tomb World is overall much better to build, paint, and put together, but there are also some drawbacks that Into the Dark didn't have. So let's discuss those. First, the pros over Into the Dark. The walls themselves and all these pieces attach differently.
Yeah.
In Into the Dark, you were putting basically the whole height of the wall into the little nub and trying to squeeze it in there. And we all know that once you primed and painted your terrain, it didn't really fit. So you spent like 20 minutes per piece trying to squeeze stuff in there, and it didn't really work very well. And you had to like either suffer with that or file down the connection points, and it was a really big pain. Tomb World mostly fixes that. So instead of the whole height of the wall being pushed into the pillars, there's only a tiny little circle that's actually being pushed in, which means it's much easier to like smash it in there. After priming and painting, it still was a bit tough to actually squeeze in. I would still recommend maybe filing down. If you can visualize this, you'll see when you get it. There's on the wall pieces, there's a little circle, and then on that circle, there's like little nubs on the top and bottom and both sides. It's like almost like a plus sign of nubs. You could like file that down by half or even like 3/4, and it would probably still fit once it's all primed and painted. I did not do that, and it was still kind of annoying, but also like 100 times less annoying than even Into the Dark after I filed it down. So much improved, not perfect, but like way, way, way better. And if you are going to file it down, it'll take you like 1/10 of the time.
Yeah. Also, Into the Dark had those like top caps that went on top of the pillars to hide the connection joints. Those were always really frustrating. They were tough to get off. You'd break your fingernails or have to use like guitar picks or tire levers or something to get them off.
Those are gone.
They're gone. That's nice. The doors are no longer on hinges. They're just loose and they sit in the slot. Honestly, if we weren't filming battle reports, I'd say, yeah, this is way better because you don't have to deal with the hinge. You don't have to figure out where to place a model when you open the door. But they fall out a lot, which like when you're just playing a game is fine because you just pick it up and put it back where it belongs. It's a bit annoying because like someone walking past loudly enough and the doors are all going to fall out of their spot. But I do think that it is probably a more user-friendly experience. And I guess we're not talking about rules yet, but there's also a bunch of light terrain that actually matters.
Yeah, it's nice. No top caps is nice. It is a bit less secure because the top caps really like locked in the terrain for Into the Dark. Here, it's definitely way faster to set up and easier to set up, but it doesn't stay together quite as strongly.
And it's easier for things to get shifted like slightly out of square because there isn't like an extra joint holding it in the spot. So things can kind of move around. But again, like I mean, it doesn't take much to just keep an eye on it and fix
Mhm.
it. I think overall, it's a well designed piece of terrain. They obviously learned some lessons from Into the Dark, and went with like a different philosophy for how to put it together. And I think it's successful largely.
Anything else we want to talk about the physical product specific to the terrain? I mean, it looks really good.
Yeah.
There's lots of nice detail. It looks good even if you don't paint it like there's two different colors on the box art where there's like the crumbling outer ruin and then the interior. That would take forever to pick out. It looks fine if you don't do that.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I think I really I can't wait to see how people paint these. Like that's always so fun to me when we all have the same set of terrain and you go to a tournament or whatever and there's like 9 Volcuses and 9 Into the Darks to see like how everyone handled it.
Yeah.
I think this is it's going to be cool and people are going to do it well. It comes with a couple teleporter pads and some light scatter terrain. All that stuff is, I mean, it's GW plastic, so it's great, and they don't require any putting together, so they're even better.
Yep. Okay, what else comes in the box while we're on physical items? There's NPOs, which is basically the sprue of 10 Necron warriors that comes with the 3 scarabs that we all know and love. That sprue. It's very good. And there are cards that are like the narrative cards that they've been doing recently. So there's a whole like series of missions you can play where the tomb awakens and the Necrons come alive. The rule book, of course, there's data cards for both teams. Standard box with terrain.
Yeah, and like it's similar to Hivestorm in that this is the launch box for this season of Kill Team. Obviously, like we don't know how easy it's going to be to acquire the Tomb World terrain after this box. Don't know how they're going to release it, but I think as like a jumping off point for Kill Team, if you're just getting into the game, this is a good box because it's going to set you up for a whole season. You've got a ton of terrain. I'm not a huge fan of them including the NPO sprue in these boxes. They did the same thing with Typhon, with the sprue of Hormagaunts. I think it's I from personal experience and just anecdotally with my friends that I play Kill Team with, I think that sprue goes unused a lot, and I think that they might be able to shave a few dollars and a few grams of plastic off to not include that. It's not like it's hard to find Necron warriors if you do
Like,
want
I
to get
get
them.
why they do it because it helps the box appeal to a different market, which is like
Yeah,
a family buying this box to play as a board game.
it would be. Yeah, I mean I know that there's logistics and manufacturing and shipping and everything that gets in the way of this, but like it would be cool if there were like they do with new edition 40K boxes, like different levels. There's like the ultimate version and then just like the teams in the terrain, or just the terrain and the rule book and like
Yeah.
that sort of thing. I think that would be good. But like that's not the world we live in. We live in this world, and it's solid.
Do you want to talk about the rules for the kill zone now?
Well, just quickly want to talk about the contents of the teams, because I've seen this asked a lot on Reddit, and we have a full breakdown of both teams, so definitely watch that for like the full thing. But for the Death Watch, it's 2 identical sprues. You can make 10 out of 11 operatives extremely easily, and to make the last option would require very little knowledge and expertise to magnetize or to just have as an option. So very, very good in terms of a number of operatives that you can
Yeah,
field.
and if you want to be a real like WYSIWYG stickler, technically the Necron team is a 2-box team if you want the full roster. But like I said in the other video, really it's a 1-box team because the only options are the weapon options on the warriors and the spiders. The spiders, you can just build one of each, and then if you really want to play them as both the Tesla gun, just tell your opponent they're both a Tesla gun and they just are different models of the same gun. And
if your opponent has a problem with that, you never have to play with them again.
And for the warriors, they have 2 different weapon options, but I really think just build them all the same, whatever you think looks coolest, and just tell your opponent they're either this for this game or this for this game. I really don't think there's ever going to be a situation where you want to mix warrior gun types.
Yeah.
And they're weird Xenos guns that nobody's going to know what they are anyway. So you may as well just build them all the same and then just tell your opponent which one you're using for that game. So I really think it's very, very easy with very little suspension of disbelief to make the Necron Kill team a 1-box team as well.
I think, we can say with a lot of confidence, neither of these teams require another box in any capacity. Like, you can always choose to buy more Warhammer, but you don't need to at all with these teams.
I would say the only reason you'd need a second box for the Necron's Kill team is if you're going to a extremely sweaty WYSIWYG only tournament. And I feel like those things are almost always mutually exclusive. So
yeah,
like the hyper competitive tournaments are usually not WYSIWYG in my experience, as long as it's obvious what you're doing. So
yeah, that don't do that. That'd be insane. It would be insane to buy 2 boxes of this team.
I'm sure some people will do it.
Don't do it.
But I don't think you need to. I really don't think you need to.
know you don't need to. All right. Let's talk about the rules for the terrain. So
it's very similar to Into the Dark. All the core rules that you're used to seeing from Into the Dark are ported over from Close Quarters. So lethal 5-up on stuff that has Blaster Torrent or whatever.
Mission actions to open doors. There are now the breach walls, which were never officially a part of Into the Dark, seem to be here. They're part of the core set of terrain. To open up a breach wall is a mission action. Anyone can do it for 2 AP, or any Grenadier or anything with a piercing 2 weapon can do it for 1 AP. And any operatives on the other side of it have to make a die roll and could potentially lose an APL from it. So I think they've really added like a fun, flavorful rule there. Like, you have to watch out for it, for someone to like Kool-Aid Man through the wall and stun your team.
Yep. And then the other big, I guess there's 2 more big changes from Into the Dark style. The first one is the addition of light terrain built into the terrain set. So there were kind of like light barricades that came with Into the Dark, but they were like barricades, basically. They were used as equipment. Here, there are actual pieces of light terrain that are used as scatter. On Into the Dark, it always felt like you needed to take some kind of barricade to be able to like move up and stage inside a room. Here, this terrain set comes with light terrain. So that is really nice.
Yeah, also nice that operatives that count climbing as less and that sort of thing actually get to enjoy that buff in this kill zone.
And it's interesting too, because Volkus is so much heavy and the light is almost irrelevant. Here, there's a lot of heavy, but also there's a good amount of light. And I feel like the light will be more relevant because it's the only thing in the room unless you're taking heavy barricades.
Yeah.
Right? So that's something. Then there's also obviously the teleporter pads.
Yeah, the big headline is that there's teleporters.
Teleporter rules seem cool. Only one model can be on a teleporter pad at once. That's an interesting thing to note. Mm-hmm. So you can't be half on, half off. You're either fully on or fully off, and only one operative can be on the teleporter pad at a time. Starting in the second turning point, if you're already on it and you move, charge, or fall back, you basically just pick yourself up and put yourself in the middle of the other teleporter pad. If there's somebody already there, you swap them. So you can mess up your opponent potentially if they move on and you teleport them by you teleporting in a time that they didn't want to teleport.
Yeah, I think it's a great mechanic. I love that it's like a core part of the set. I think some teams are really going to love this. Like anything with chain activation, where you could potentially, if your opponent stages a big money operative on the teleporter pad carelessly, and you can bring it over into your zone and then gang up on it. Obviously these things are Rube Goldberg machines that won't happen often, but I do think that there is some wild stuff that can happen with these teleporters.
Also, just think about when you're playing Into the Dark, how many times did you slightly overcommit to one room at the side, wipe it out, and then all your sick guys are so out of position, and you're okay, well, I can't even get into range of doing anything for the rest of the game. Now you can zip across the board. That's pretty good.
It is very good.
It's pretty fun.
What's interesting too is I think it's different enough from Into the Dark that it's not Into the Dark doesn't exist anymore. I think it is a different play experience. Different teams are going to thrive on it. And I think it's going to keep Into the Dark relevant. Another thing that I really like about it is it feels like the Necron team, the Canoptech Circle, actually have like a pretty strong home field advantage on it. Like a lot of their stuff works well here. Like the node matrix lets them like really lock down a room if they want to. They've got an ability to teleport through walls. Like I think it's kind of cool. And I'm thinking back and I don't think we've really seen this where the team that came with the terrain like really thrives on it. Like Kroot and Breachers were terrible on Into the Dark when it came out. Uh I mean, Aquilons and Vespids aren't terribly good on
Imagine
anything.
it's like Breacher. The Breachers couldn't even break through the Into the Dark walls.
Yeah.
On the train set they came out on. But now everything is right with the world. The
Yeah.
Necrons can teleport through their own tomb world.
I think it's cool. It's gonna make for a lot of great games, and I'm excited to have it here for the next season.
Yep. Alert again. This time it's to thank our 1 HP Gangster and Mountain Goat patrons. Hopefully that didn't wake my son up.
Yeah, we'll see. As we always say, none of this would be even remotely possible without the financial support that we receive from the folks at our Patreon. So thank you so much. If you don't want to support us there, every comment, like, and subscription and notification really helps. We've got some affiliate links. Thank you for all of your continued support. It really helps us keep doing these. I'm going to shut up and go back to a different video where I'm not shutting up and I'm going to talk about some kill teams.
Yep.
Thank you.
Like we said, there's a battle report coming very soon featuring the new terrain and the new teams. So that'll be fun. Make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss it. Check out our review of the Deathwatch kill team and of the Canoptek Circle kill team. And